Hello, let's continue our Sudoku adventure with our spooky Halloween puzzles. This is Disguised Digits by Matt Tressel. So we do have, I will say the disguise rule at first seems daunting, but I don't think it is. I'll try to explain it as best I can, and hopefully that will help as well. So do watch my explanation if you're daunted. I do think you can handle this puzzle. All right, so we do have normal 6x6 Sudoku rules, meaning in every row, every column, and every 2x3 box, we are placing the digits 1 to 6 exactly once each. In addition to that, we do have killer cages in the grid. Now, I'm going to go over the normal rules for them, but I'm going to use value instead of digit, and we'll explain why in a second. So we have these cells surrounded by cages. These are these dotted lines. We call those cages. So in general, we have a cage that surrounds cells. There's a clue in the top left that gives you the sum of the values in the cage. Normally, I'd say sum of the digits, but there's the disguise rule, which will change the value of some digits. So let's go over that. So there are exactly 6 disguised digits hidden in the Sudoku grid. So there's going to be 1 per row, 1 per column, and 1 per box. So if we say this one's disguised, then that means that for the rest of the box, the rest of the column, and the rest of the row, we cannot have any more disguised digits. So maybe I'll use purple for that. Someone suggested, yeah, use purple and orange for the Halloween, which is a neat idea. So there are going to be 6 of them in the grid that act like a digit would, right? There's 1 per row, column, and box. Now, the disguise makes the digit for makes the value of the digit for the purpose of the killer cage equal to its row number. So if this was disguised, even if there was, say, a 6 in here, it would just count as a 2, because this is row 2. We count from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. And additionally, digits can't disguise as themselves. So if this is a 2, you know it isn't disguised, because it's already matching its row. All right, that's it. Those are the rules. There is a link in the description. Oh, sorry. There's one more rule. Each digit is disguised exactly once. So if a 1 gets disguised, not only can you not disguise anything else in the row, column, or box, but also if there's another 1 somewhere, you know that's not disguised, because 1 is only disguised in one place. All right, now we're done. There is a link in the description if you'd like to try the puzzle yourself, and I'm going to get started right now. All right. So the first thing I want to do is add these up, because this value is summed to 12 and the value is summed to 7. We know there's only 1 disguised digit in here. We'll actually be able to figure out whether it's row 1 or row 2 that gets disguised, because 12 plus 7 is 19. So actually, do we know exactly? Well, let's think about 19. So we would expect them to add to 21, because the digits 1 through 6 add to 21. But the disguised digit has a different value, and that different value makes the sum 19 instead. So what digit was removed to become a 1 or a 2? Well, if a digit became a 1, to get from 21 to 19, we're subtracting 2, right? So it would be a 3. So there'd be a disguised 3 here. And if the disguised digit was in this cage, then it would have to be disguised as a 2, which would mean that the 4 in this cage would become a 2. So I'm thinking that's not possible. If we have a 4 somewhere in here, I don't even care where. If we have a 4 somewhere in here disguised as a 2, then the rest of the digits have to add to 5 without being disguised. And we can't do 1, 4. We could do 2, 3. Okay. So if this was 2, 3, 4, and the 4 was disguised, we would add to 7. That would work. So I was wrong about not working. And then up here, we would have the 1, 5, and 6, which do add to 12. Okay, so that is one possibility. I bet this 2 cage helps us, though. Yeah, so let's start with the 2 cage instead. I thought doing this sum here would be helpful. I was going to do this sum as well, but the 2 cage and the 12 cage are a great starting point, because that tells us right away. These both have to have a value of 1, which means one of them is a 1 and the other one's disguised as a 1. So we don't know what digit goes here, but we know it's the disguised one. It could be any digit, because it's going to have a value of 1. Oh, sorry, I wasn't going to use gray for that. Let's use purple. Purple is not disguised. And so this is disguised as a 1, but we don't know what digit it is yet. But that does mean this has to be a 1. And now if that means something down here is disguised as a 2, so it is 2, 3 something. We don't actually know. Oh yeah, it has to be 2, 3, 4 because of the difference. because of the sum of the entire box, right? Sum of the entire box tells us that the digit we remove has to be value exactly 2 less. And so we know the 4 in here is the disguised digit, but we don't know where it goes. And then this is 156. This is 56. This is 234. We don't know which one's disguised, but we know it's not the 4. The 4 can't be disguised twice. So it's the 2 or 3 that gets disguised. Now this 12 is going to do the same thing. We know that this has to be a natural 6. And in fact, this has to be the disguised digit that becomes a 6. Other way around. Other way around. This is a 6, non-disguised, and this is disguised as a 6. Sorry, almost made that horrible mistake there. So that's not a 6 there. And then we don't know what digit goes here yet, but we do know that it is disguised as a 6 for the row. So let's think about this box now, because we know the disguise is one of these 2 digits. So again, 14 plus 9 is 23. So the disguised digit has to be 2 larger. So this disguise, so we know it's becoming a 5. So 5 has to be 2 larger. So the 3 gets disguised. So there's a 3 in here, which is actually a value of 5. And then the other 2 add to 9 without a 5. No, sorry, 9 without a 3, which means they have to be 4 or 5. So this is 3, 4, 5. This one isn't, hold on. We know that the 3 is disguised. So this one's not the 3. And then down here we have 1, 2, 6, which does add to 9. That's not a 1. And then we know that this, because the 3 is disguised here, we know this isn't 3. So this is a 4 or a 5. And these are all 3, 4, 5. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense. This is a 1, 2 pair. These could, if these were both non-disguised, oh, these both are non-disguised, because the disguise in this row is a 4, right? It becomes a 4. We can't put a value of 4 in a 2-cell 4 cage. So this one's not disguised, and this is a 1, 3 pair. Could have done that right from the start, but obviously there's a lot of things you can do right from the start. So we know there's a disguise in here somewhere. There's a disguise in here somewhere. The 7 cage. So if it had a disguise, if this was the disguise, it would have a value of 3, and it would go with a 4 here. If this was a disguise, it would have a value of 4, it would have a 3 here. That's really interesting. So this is 3 plus 4 adding to 7, but either the 3 or 4 is a non-3, 4. I don't know what to do about that. Well, hold on. This can't be a 3 because of the 1, 3 pair. So if this had a value, wait, does that matter? I don't think that matters. What was I thinking? We don't need this to be a 3 because it's gonna, if it was, this always has a value of 4, and this always has a value of 3, whether it's a natural value or a disguise. So yeah, we can't do anything with that yet. What can we do then? 1 is one of these 2 cells. So we need, hold on, we know what was, hold on, this digit's limited, right? This can't be 4, because we know the 4 has to be disguised as a 2. Does that help? 4 in this column is 2 places? This step is difficult here. I'm just going to mark, we have a 3 in here, we have a 4 in here. Oh, 3 and 4, oh, right. 3 and 4 are used up as disguises here. So this has to be a 2, and this has to be a 5, because we can't disguise the same digit twice. So this is a 1. We get our 3 and 1 here. We get our 2 here. This is a 3, 4 pair now. These aren't 2s. We get the 2 and the 1 here. These are not 5s. This is a 6. Okay, that got me some progress. This digit finishes as a 4. These 3 digits are 2, 5, 6. That's not a 2. 2's one of these 2. 3, 4 pair. So we know 2, 3, 4, 5 are no longer costumed. So the only costume digits left are 1 and 6. So this could be a 1 or a 6 or a 3 in order to have a value of 3. And this could be, can't be 1, but it could be 4 or 6 to have a value of 4. What does that do for me? I'm not sure. These digits are 3, 4, 5. That's not 4, that's not 3. 3, 4, 5. We know there's a 5 in one of these two because one of the either a 3 or a 4 definitely naturally goes in the 7 cage to go with the costumed 3 or 4. And so that means that we can't make this 3, 4. Otherwise, both of these would have to be costumed. So one of these is a 5, meaning this is not a 5. So this is a 4. Now that makes that 5 and 3. Now that 3 is gone, this has to be a natural 4 with a costumed 1, 6. We don't know which one, but it also means that this is costumed. So, and 2 and 5 are already costumed. So this is the costume 6. This is costumed 1. Very nice. That's 5 and 2. That was neat logic. That's 5 and 6. That's 3 and 4. We get the 5 and the 3 here. We know that the 3 had to be the costume. In fact, I could have done that a little bit earlier, but that's okay. We get the 2 and the 1. That's 6 and the 5. Oh, this can't be costumed anymore. This is the costumed 4. We get the 3, 4, and 3. And then over here we need 6 and 2, and we're done. All right, and we costumed a 1, a 2, a 3, a 3, a 4, a 5, and a 6. The 4 is acting as a 2, making this 2 plus 2 plus 3, which is 7. This is acting as a 1, making this add to 2. This is acting as a 3, that adds sums to 7. This doesn't matter, but it's acting as a 4. This is acting as a 5, making this add to 14. And then this is acting as a 6, making that add to 12. Everything works out. Great. Really cool puzzle, Matt. I don't know. Was this logic at the end intended? Because that was really neat. Where we knew there had to be a 5 here, and that just resolved the whole puzzle. So cool. I enjoyed that. Let me know how you did. And if you enjoyed it, why not leave a like, subscribe, and a kind comment below.